Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hot Mango Seed Podcast, where we pierce the layers and drill down to the seed of entertainment, crypto, gaming, the marijuana industry, and more, all while having a good time, because that's what it's all about. I'm LaRue, and I'm joined with some of the coolest and dopest people on the planet, the VI Massive, Souljah Bless, King T, Rob Raider, a.k.a. Guwop, and Henny of the Shy Machine.
Yeah.
Machine.
Yes, sir.
How y'all feeling, man?
Feeling
like
good,
a star.
Feeling blessed. Feeling
like a
blessed.
star.
Everything
Blessings, man. Blessed. It's blessed to see another day, right?
Bless.
So, yo, like, you know. So, yo, I ran into this crazy poll, right, that was on Instagram. It's from a few years ago. But it was I know that we back behind the scenes have these conversations all the time about new school music versus old school music, right? And there was this poll, it was crazy. It was like, it gave me hope, right? There was this poll that showed that 68% of people, and, you know, forgive me for not having all the info about it, but 68% of people prefer old school music over new school. And it just makes so much sense, right? Because, like, I personally am just not always vibing with this new school music, the trap music, even the R&B, right? Like, so I have a question for the table, you know. Like, what do y'all think? Like,
see Rob's face.
Right, and let's be clear. Like, Rob, right, out of all of us, Rob is probably the most
ratchet and ignorant.
I would say more diversely open to
Henny gets
music.
a little bit on that.
Yeah,
from
Actually,
old
a
school
lot
to
of
new
it on
school.
ratchets.
I'm more
Yeah.
accepting and willing to listen to
the new school
much
stuff.
more new artists. I mean, I can't say I'll like it, but I will listen to it to give it a chance to see where this artistic vision is going and what they're trying to do for the culture that has been started by our own people.
Yeah, and what I love, you know, like, I know that you and Henny, right? Like, you both are definitely more hip to the new school stuff than we are.
Yeah.
But I also love that Rob will come with some UK flavor, some new UK music, some
Brazil, South Africa, wherever you want to take it.
Rob is
Yeah.
our discovery mode.
He is.
He is our discovery. He's brave enough to listen to some of the. When he showed up with what's his name, Blueface.
Blueface, baby.
I almost puked
Oh my
listening
gosh.
to that dude.
Listen, okay.
Shout out Blueface.
But he's
Listen,
famous
no.
now though, so
No.
Rob was right.
No, absolutely not. All right, I'm gonna stop that right
Not
here.
music, no, not by music. Just as a socialite, as a person.
Character.
No, see, that's the problem. All
not
right,
the problem.
It's about the music. It's not about their
It's the variation.
persona or their image. That's the thing, right? Like, musicians can be platinum overnight to this time of this era, this era, by just being hot on TikTok, you know, like the island boy,
I'm an island boy.
island. And it's all because of how they look, right?
Any what they look for.
Yeah.
That's that culture vulture, whatever. But being from the West Coast, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. No, from being from the West Coast, man, like
He's from King County.
Shout out to Blueface, you know, for the music he's done,
shout
the
out to
success
Blueface.
that he's done. But you know what? Us old school West Coast, like, I'm talking about Richie Rich, I'm talking about Brother Lynch, I'm talking about
MC8.
you know what I'm saying? The Dog Pound, like, we don't rock with that.
So let me tell you this.
But I'm also
let me tell you this. Rob opened my eyes to a lot of things because before Rob started hanging with the crew, I hated that music.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
to a point where it would make me not listen to the radio in my car because it's a lot. I mean, let's be honest. It's a lot of garbage made to sound good. If you got the right mix engineer, you can make anybody sound like a star.
Yeah.
Preach.
But what he made me realize is I started thinking about when I was younger and how my parents were like, you know, not so much my parents, but a lot of people's parents. Yeah, a lot,
Turn off that
not my
public
parents so
enema.
much, but a lot of the other parents couldn't stand the music we were listening to, the NWAs, the people that we were following. And so as I got older, You know what I'm saying? I'm still young, y'all. But as I got older,
Right.
Rob brought it to my attention. Like Rob started playing this music, and I'm like, and you remember, I used to, what the hell are you
what are
playing,
you
Rob?
playing?
Like, what the hell are you playing? Rob's like, you just gotta hear it, right?
It's great music. Just
And
listen.
then, he introduced me to the Baby.
The
He
baby's nice.
He introduced me to.
And now he's one of the
Blueface.
nastiest MCs out there.
Nasty.
So
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when he did that, I had to kind of take a step back and say, you know what? I might not enjoy the lyricism, but the creativity is there.
It is.
It is there.
But let's come back. Let's come back to this poll though. When you really put up 90s, oh my gosh, the golden era. I'm
love
talking
it.
about
Yeah.
R&B.
I
I'm
love
talking about hip hop music, right? You put that up against what is out today. Does it even hold a torch to it?
Yes, because
Oh my
what you just said, that era, this is not the 90s era.
But
Nah.
This is a whole new landscape, a whole new change of mind and thought. It's like us trying to figure out how the math work in 8th grade.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to figure it out. We just
So you
I
were
can
trying
break
to-
it down for you real quick.
please do.
All right, so I am an 80s baby, and my
80s.
dad is, from an era that played doo-wop.
good stuff.
My dad was into doo-wop music, and when doo-wop turned into funk, which was Funkadelic,
Ooh, I
it was a
love
doo-wop
funk. I love
band.
funk.
Right? Shout out to
Funkadelic was a
Funkadelic.
doo-wop band.
Parliament
And they
Funkadelic.
moved into funk music. My dad gravitated towards the funk. So when I grew up, I listened to Barcades, I listened to Funkadelic Parliament, I listened to Bobby Blue Blend, and just a lot of different things that my dad would play. James Brown, like he'd play all this stuff every day. And then a lot of times when we was cleaning up, he'd blast shit. Goddamn. Get on your ass and jam.
Yeah.
So I like listening to that. I could see where the 90s music came from.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
90s
yeah.
music came from that rebellion.
Yeah, that soul, that funk.
And the
all
music
that
we
together.
got right now came from the rebellion of the 90s.
Yes.
Okay.
So
It's inspired.
like when you really think about it, these kids that are making the music right now grew up with parents that had their golden age in the 90s. So when
Yeah.
you really think about it, because we
era.
all lived in the
It's
90s.
the era.
We lived in the
It's the
90s.
complete
Yeah, I was rocking
How-
in the
how
90s. I was
many-
popular.
Yeah, but how many of y'all was latchkey kids?
I was.
I was
Know
too.
what that is.
When your parents are not home and you
Oh,
got the
yeah,
key,
that was
you come
me.
home, do what you do, get off school.
Yeah.
Shoestring.
I'm
I was a
pretty
sure a lot
shoestring
of-
kid.
That man
Pretty
I
sure
never
a lot
trust
of
me
us
with
were.
the
A lot of the music.
They ain't
I
trust
mean, I lost
Soldier
my
with the
key
key.
multiple times, but I
They
ended up
trust
getting the
Soldier
key
best
back.
with the key.
A
but-
lot
If
of the
not, I would
music.
stay outside late enough until my parents had to call me home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the music that we listen to or that's out, that even if you don't listen to it, is coming from the kids of the latchkey kids. So their music is way more unhinged. So like Playboy Cardi, for example. I love Playboy Cardi.
Oh my God, that hurt my
And a
feelings.
lot of people
Wait.
might not like Playboy Cardi here at this table, but what I can
No,
tell
it's
you,
valid
Playboy
statement, but it's-
Playboy Cardi
When it-
is the embodiment of 90s
generation.
music and grunge
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me this.
married
Shy.
together with opioids.
Very much so.
So that's what we got
so.
right now.
Very
Like
much so.
like when you think
Very
about
much
it,
so.
right?
Yeah,
he came
I like
from
that.
he
Opioids.
came from parents that lived in the latchkey era.
Yeah.
Right.
That may have been heavy on Pac, heavy on Big,
Easy,
heavy
yeah.
on 90s.
Especially
Big
from
Daddy
Atlanta.
Kane from the
From
80s,
Georgia.
all of that,
Yeah,
right?
That's where he's from.
No. Playboy's, I think Playboy's from
Georgia,
Chicago.
Right? He's from Chicago originally.
I think so.
Okay,
so
so
like you come from that, right? And then you got the grunge music,
Right.
which is what a lot of these kids, because they emo.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
listen
Very
to
much
emo,
emo,
so
yeah.
I can tell you right now, those emo kids like Green Day,
shout out Nirvana.
they like Nirvana,
Oh, I
Yep.
love Nirvana.
they like
Man.
Stone
Oh, I love
Temple
Nirvana.
Pilots. I liked all that shit
I do
growing up
too.
too. That's my shit. Like me, I love that. So like when you think about it, they came from that.
Yeah, very much so.
Mixed with the 90s,
Uh-huh.
mixed with the
It's
opioids.
just the mixture.
Okay, but let
That's
me,
what you hearing.
But let
Yeah,
me tell you
mixture
this. Let me
shit's a
bring
lot.
this to the table, though, right? Let me bring this to the table. So you put on Playboy Cardi. Shout out to him. Shout out to his music. I'm not familiar with his catalog. But you play his song, and then you play Mobb Deep Shook Ones.
Oh, it's no chance.
Nah,
But,
you
I mean,
could. You
only
could.
I mean,
All
only
the
from my
old people them
perspective.
go rock with shook ones and all the new people them go rock.
But I'm
just
saying,
but when you
it's
talk
a
about-
all them man
feeling.
go rock with
But
the old
Shook
Shook
ones-
was the construction of the beat,
Yeah.
the lyrics, everything put
Everything.
together. In comparison to anything Playboy Cardi puts out,
This-
it's
Here-
Master Genius level.
Here's another one for you right
Craftsmanship,
here, all right?
like
So you
craftsmanship
said
for these
Mobb
guys.
Deep Shook
In
ones,
comparison
right?
to
Shook
Cardi.
ones, right?
Or
Shook
even-
ones.
or
Think
even-
about Shook ones.
Or let's think
But
about
wait.
Nas.
Mentality
I
wise,
ruled
think
the
about
world.
what you about to say, right?
Right.
Shook ones, I ruled the world. What were you doing in the club when those came on?
Man, I was
Was you
bobbing
dancing?
my neck.
You was
No,
bobbing your neck.
that's right.
When Playboy Cardi come on, you moshing.
You freaking
It's a
dancing.
rock star event.
Yeah.
Like Playboy
Jumping
Cardi
up and
come
bopping.
on, people are moshing. They dancing hard as fuck like they did in the 90s at a mosh pit.
So,
With the high pitched voice too.
It's different.
At that.
but it's like, okay,
It
so
ain't like that, nah.
it's
As far as that was
It's high
close.
pitch, but you played something for me that was like 10
Do that again, Rob.
decibels higher. Like,
for those that don't know, there's a rap
Squeak rap.
rap
Squeak rap.
category called
genre.
squeak. Yeah, genre.
yeah, and he
Called
ain't squeak rap.
Come
He
on,
kinda
man.
he do some squeaking, but not like that
Not
shit you
as
play.
squeaky as that, but
Squeaking you tweaking.
2 octaves lower.
For
Yeah,
real.
maybe 3.
3 octaves lower.
But yo, like,
bass.
yeah, I think that's a conversation that will be ongoing forever. And it
Yeah.
matters what age you are. I'm an '80s baby too. Shout out the '80s. I believe that the '90s are the golden era,
Well,
but
as the youngest person on this table,
I mean not that younger, but
man, don't blame. But as the youngest one at this table, I don't vibe with none of them new man. Some of them, but not all. You know what I mean? Like, but to me, the thing is that these man to be making music that just disconnected me.
Come
like
on,
they just
preach.
Too,
Man.
they too
So what about the Kodak Blacks?
No, listen, I ain't knocking no
Did
man
you
on
say
the track.
Kodak Black? What's
Right.
wrong with you?
I ain't knocking no man on their vibe and knocking no man on the
Right.
for the craft, because everybody got to get away and do their
Yeah.
thing and rise up out the struggle. But at the same time, when you have a platform to speak on, I think that some of them at least, could put out a good word from time to time.
Right.
So that way they don't all have to be emo. We don't all have to paint our
Nah,
fingernails
we
black.
don't.
You know what I
We
mean?
don't.
What,
we don't.
what
I,
year would we call this new generation? What year can we say it started from?
That it flipped.
20
Probably
no
09.
2000 2005 2006.
So you can say that
Yeah.
the new generation still put out some pretty quality artists. Like you got
They
your-
did. You got
Waka
Juice WRLD. You got
Flocka,
Juice
man,
WRLD.
not that.
Waka Flocka is still.
Rest
I
in
mean, he
peace to
grew
that
up.
man, Juice WRLD. Juice
Waka
WRLD.
Flocka
Juice
came.
WRLD was really good.
Juice WRLD
Juice
actually
WRLD was
freestyle.
really good.
Even
Let me
though
tell
he
y'all
was
something.
Yeah.
and all the drinks and stuff like
Rest
that.
in peace to him.
And then you got J. Cole, who's the Messiah of this whole.
Yeah.
Cole. Shout out to J.
Cole.
Cole.
Won't say
big
he's
up
the
to
Messiah,
J.
but
Cole.
he
You had the ones that passed away, like Mac Miller, super fucking dope.
Super dope.
He was
Mac
really
Miller
good.
was dope.
Rest in
Yeah.
But yeah, see, this new generation, it turned out some quality. I think it's
This
just the tail
this
end
new generation
of
is
this
still
generation.
kind of like the 90s because you got the J. Cole's, you got
Yeah,
the
true.
Mac Millers,
True.
you got the Elzais, you got the people
Elzais.
that
Look,
spit.
But the
Look,
thing
I-
is,
But then
it's
you
not
also
the 90s
got the
because you
people
don't have
that didn't
RES
spit.
throwaway,
CT.
yeah.
We had those in the 90s too.
You don't
Yeah,
have
right.
nothing on
Thank
the
you.
radio.
I will
Remember
say
the
this.
Tootsie Roll?
I will say
Tuesday.
this.
South Florida.
That was Florida. I actually know.
Florida. Yeah.
I will
Uncle
say,
Luke.
Some
I will
of them
say
is-
this.
And all them, yeah.
When it comes to the
Exactly.
music now, in R&B,
Oh,
it's coming back though.
I heard it fell off.
Kind
Listen, it did
don't
fall
know.
off.
You can kind of
Listen,
thank, you can thank Chris Brown for that
Y'all
one.
No,
listen-
no,
y'all
no.
listen
You
to
can
artists
blame
like her?
Piss Man.
oh, hers.
Y'all listen to
Okay.
artists like her.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But that's just
You
one in the sea of all
Yeah.
the rest.
No,
R&B
there's-
is dead.
there's a whole
It is
bunch
No,
of
it ain't
R&B
dead.
is
R&B
not
is
dead.
It's
dead.
kinda
It is
dead.
actually it is.
R&B
gone.
died
In
and it's coming
comparison
back.
to where
It's not coming back.
It is coming
It's
I
back.
coming
hope
back
it
as
comes
something
back.
else. It's coming back.
Like,
It's
when are
not
they gonna
R&B.
talk about
Piss Man
love?
killed it.
Talk about love.
I'm
Like,
trying to remember that guy's name.
because
Piss
it's
Man.
not there
Tired of
anymore.
the-
Because right now they
is
call
Kelly.
it they call it the R&B today. It's
talk about
considered like the
Kelly.
Chris Brown effect, where it's like this bitch that hoe, you can't trust this bitch.
Yeah.
That come
pussy,
from
blah,
Piss
blah,
Man.
blah, blah.
I'm trying to remember
But
the name of the.
I'm
These
going to
hoes
put
ain't
Chris Brown as the
loyal.
face and logo of this new generation of R&B, of how it goes and how it's sung and stuff like
I
that.
mean, Chris Brown got a song though that the grass ain't greener on the other side, and I still think that to me is one of the greatest songs he's ever released.
I think the greatest song
I
he ever
love that
released
song.
was
Catalog.
"These Hoes Ain't Loyal" because they're not.
Well, that's on the same album. That's on. I think that's on the same. No, it's not on the same album. But the one I'm talking about, that Grass Ain't Greener, that was actually a really good song if you listen to his lyrics.
But let's that's an ongoing conversation. But let's
from the old to the new.
But what about my dad?
Music.
Your dad.
My father threw away my Tupac albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fast forward to a year ago asking me to burn him Tupac. Like, bro, what's wrong with you? You hated Tupac in the 90s, but now you love him.
Did you say burn?
Rest in peace.
I mean, like when this year?
He wanted me to copy it. Because listen, my dad got a flip phone, bro.
But you born in CDs in
I have
2002?
Got the
Because
razor.
he got a flip phone. You think he got anything else?
Stick up
He
the-
don't got no computer. My
do,
dad
man?
don't care about no computer.
But while we
He don't let nobody touch his computer.
Nobody.
But how about this? Let's get into the topic of the day today, right?
Yes, sir.
As we continue to drill down to the seed. And again, I tried to bite into the mango seed and I chipped a tooth.
Don't
So
bite that
don't
seed.
do that.
Don't bite that.
But
seed.
today we're going to talk
whistling.
about gaming, right? Gaming. We are amongst some
Best gamers in the room.
gamers, the best gamers in the room.
beast mode.
And it's funny, right? Like, gaming is not the same, definition that you think that gaming was years ago. There's so many barriers to break down when it comes to gaming. And I looked up the definition: the action or practice of playing video games, right? And I want to come back to the action or practice, because there are actually people who do this for a living, right? There are gaming streamers, right? There's this dude named, I looked him up, Tyler Ninja Blevins.
You're a ninja.
I'm a
Ninja.
rage quitter,
PewDiePie.
so I can't get paid for gaming.
On Twitch, Tyler made $30 million on Xbox.
God, man.
$30 million. This was
He
2019.
signed exclusive rights.
But as I got you experts on gaming, right? Like, first off, what was the first video game console you ever owned?
Original Game Boy for me.
Game Boy. Oh man, the
Game
Game
Boy.
Boy was.
Yeah.
And then it was the original Nintendo. But we had it Atari the whole time, which I didn't know, where we had to actually put the chip into the chipboard and then slap the chipboard into the console, and then you play the game from the Superman to the ET to the
They
to
had
the Superman.
Superman?
Superman. We had to fly through the screen. The screen would change. You know the hell he's doing. And then you go into the little telephone booth, you change out, and it's like the most simple. This is probably like 5 bits.
What was the first gaming console y'all owned?
For me, it was the Nintendo Entertainment System. But my uncle had an Atari. So I got an uncle that's like, he was a teenager when I was born. So I used to like really want to play his Atari, but that shit ain't work. So I would sit there in front of that big ass block TV and pretend like I was playing games while my granddad be watching church programs. I be in that bitch controlling Benny Hinn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my first video game system. And then I talked to my mom, and
in
she
the
got
ghetto.
me a Nintendo. She got me the joint with the gun and the
Duck Hunt joint.
Duck
yeah.
Hunt.
duck hunt,
Yeah.
and I had
man.
the power pad.
Oh,
So we be in the
Oh, that
living
was
room
the
running.
joint.
the athlete,
Me and
yeah.
my cousin be in that bit running all day playing track
The
and field, and
Olympics,
that was
yeah.
so fun. Like
played
that
that.
was
That
my
was
first.
fun.
That
Yeah, that
was
was
my
fire.
first game
I used to like the
system.
Pogo. The one
That
with
too.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. What
I
about
loved
you,
it.
T? What was your
Oh
first
man,
one?
so Souljah the youngest in the room, as the oldest in the room, I'm gonna take it back to the beginning of consoles.
I don't even
Pong.
know who.
Pong.
Pong.
It was a big board with a knob on one side and a knob on the other. And the only game that was on there was the one where you hit the ball get hit and it go to the other side and you got to move your
I
little
thought
thing.
that
not
was
to hit
Atari.
No, that's Pong.
It
They
was
had
it was his own
it was
system
on
first.
Atari. It was
Yeah.
on Atari,
Oh,
but it was
preceded the
it was an
But-
it was an original console of its own before Atari grabbed
It was an actual science experiment first
Wow.
Yeah.
before they released it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how crazy it is.
I remember
That
the first
is
time I
crazy.
played it too. I was like, "What is this?" And I sat down on it, and it to me was the greatest thing ever invented, simply because I can control something on a TV.
Yeah.
That was
Nice.
the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
What about you in the VI? What was
Yes,
y'all playing?
It was Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, just like Shy, the gray and the pink.
The gray
Yeah,
box.
I mean
black.
everything good with it.
That was actually red.
Yeah.
Red, pink, our own will
Colorblind,
wash out, you
man.
understand?
Yeah, wash
We
that.
will
That thing
wash out,
red.
you know what I mean?
Or orange. It's more like fire red.
No,
orange.
it was
Yeah, it's
pink.
like a
Be the
fire
buttons
red
is
orange.
pink. The buttons them pink, man. What kind of thing I talk about? Listen, I know
Purple,
what
y'all. It was purple.
Yeah, but let me tell you, right? Gaming run deep with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
man.
very first system that I could think about was the Nintendo Entertainment System, and from there it just been system after system. It's a wonderful segment of entertainment. Trust me, it's one of
Shout
the
out,
best.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Shout out
True
to
that.
Nintendo with
Yeah.
them greedy ass, but still it's all good still. You know what I mean? But
Yo, and as a segueing into that, right? Like, think about it. How do we go from Duck Hunt to Call of Duty,
It's
right?
beautiful.
Easily.
Like, it's crazy of the graphics, like me,
Yeah,
I'm
real
a
talk.
OG game player. I'm not nearly as advanced now, but I go all the way back to Atari. I'm a rest in peace John Madden. I was playing John Madden 95, 96. I go way back, but how do we
Remember Tecmo
advance?
Tecmo
Bowl, double dribble.
Well, broke Bo Jackson.
But it's
Double
like,
dribble, Tecmo.
I feel like there's so much disconnect, right, and misunderstanding of gaming in 2022 versus back then. I feel like there's so many.
But it's bigger than ever.
It is bigger,
it's
right?
bigger than
And it's a community, right? It's not just game playing, right? It's a community, and I feel like there's so much misunderstanding. If y'all can just help me to let people understand, there's it's way bigger than the stereotype of people that think like people just sit and play games and they rot their minds or whatever when they're doing so much. There's studies that have been played out that there's skills actually that you learn from
It's
video
an
games.
escape.
Absolutely.
It's an
Pretty much.
escape.
You're more
Yeah.
simple,
we
simple motor
live
function.
in a society of chaos.
Absolutely.
And our only escape sometimes is into
Is to
these
create
imaginary
chaos in
worlds
GTA.
of games
Preach.
Yes, sir.
and
GTA.
metaverse and stuff like that.
Yeah, mental health.
And honestly, like when for years I never played. I used to tell Souljah I ain't never playing games, right? And
Now look at
eventually
him.
I got
Bitch
on.
got like 18
And-
damn buildings. And
and now I started playing that game
Past me
Division.
rank wise.
When I started playing the game Division and I started getting good at it and started streaming, I started getting friends and fans, and it was like, yo, I can't. It went from just me doing it just to get away to all of a sudden I'm looking forward to getting on there and chatting it up with these same cats and from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Social aspect is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so it went from just playing it to play it to like, man, I'm gonna talk to my peeps tonight while we shoot some people up on the game. You know what I mean?
It was the
Yeah.
first social network, because
Yeah.
like if your friends came over to the house and you had a second controller,
Right.
Yeah.
we played the game together.
that whole
For
block
Running
in
matches,
there.
Street Fighter 2,
exactly.
everything.
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat,
Kombat.
like,
It's
Whatever. It
crazy,
brought
right?
people together.
And I remember
It
Bless,
honestly
right?
brought people together.
I remember Bless educating me, right? I remember when he was showing me when Division first came out.
Yeah.
He was like, he was I'm talking to him like he's not here, but he would he would watch the YouTube videos, right, of the people that are just breaking down the game, going through different difficult levels, and he would be like, you see this dude here? He's a millionaire. Once this game came out, he started doing these videos and he's a millionaire. Like, so like when your kids or your spouse or your brother or your sister or whatever, they're playing games, there's actual wealth in there, right?
Oh yeah.
There's wealth opportunities. Like, how would somebody get started with that? Like,
I don't know. I'm still waiting on Ubisoft to bring Assassin's Creed to Pine Hills.
hey, not to Pine Hills.
Assassin's Creed might not make it.
I thought
You gotta be better than Assassin's Creed to live in that motherfucker.
Do an SEO over there.
like where so I have a question for you. Where do you see video games, right? Like I was saying, Duck Hunt to Call of Duty. In 10 to 20 years, where do you see video games?
It's gonna look like live people
Like
playing.
Ready Player One type situation.
Yeah.
it's gonna
I
be
think
live.
so.
That's
It's
where-
gonna be metaverse. It's gonna be you owning the house you bought inside the game.
Virtual reality
Yeah.
meets augmented reality,
Yeah.
actually meets reality itself, and it's going to be something so massive and beautiful, scary.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
scary as hell. Cause
but
I feel like
I think
when
those
you,
who want to understand it and not take it to the point to where it gets creepy is going to be fucking insane.
I feel like when you in the division and somebody hit you with that fire, you gonna feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be crazy.
We already have technology where they have haptic feedback in like chairs, and then now they got the headphones to where now you can kind of feel it, but not like feel it like that. But yeah,
well, you know they got bodysuits now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
for the virtual world.
They have treadmills,
so you can feel when you punch, you feel it on your hand.
Why would I do a thing like
that?
That's
haptic feedback.
I don't want to do that.
Obviously, they're not giving you the extreme hits. You know what I mean?
Just say, but I don't
that's
want to feel
complete
nothing.
immersion.
I ain't trying to hear that shit. I ain't a virtual wall. Me want to feel nothing.
I keep my controller on vibrate. I keep my controller with the vibrate, so so it feels realistic to me, like when I'm doing something. So that's the only reason why I keep my controller on vibrate, is so it feels realistic.
You
not saying everybody
aim better without
it's immersion.
Yeah,
without the vibration, you aim better.
Yeah, but
it
makes me feel like I'm more in it.
It takes you out of that panic when you take that vibrate off.
Yeah,
actually, because sometimes like when you, especially in the first person mode, they use Halo for example, and then you're trying to hit somebody, shoot somebody, and you feel like you about to get a triple kill, and then the vibration kind of throwing you off because you're like, oh, I'm going in. But if I take that vibration off, I can kind of stay smooth and stay in my mind. Like, all right, boom, 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 knocking people out very quick because that vibration's gone.
Yeah, I keep it, man. I got the feeling.
But it does immerse you, though. It really does immerse you.
I think,
a little bit.
Shout out to Nobody Saves the World, because Bless got me on this game.
Great indie game.
And it reminds me a lot of playing game with a friend on a Nintendo. I love
great
it.
indie game.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and make sure, if you're listening right now, that you follow us on all social media sites. Hot Mango Seed Podcast. We're on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and all the different platforms.
We on all platforms, nigga.
So, with it being 2022, what games are you looking forward to coming out? Like, what's coming out soon? I heard about some acquisition with Microsoft and
and Sony. Everybody's buying up everything.
Shout out to the man above, the Lord and Savior Phil Spencer, the one who turned everything around for the box. But
Xbox Saver.
But I really want to say that I'm looking out for Starfield, because they go about to knock it out.
No one knows how it looks, but it should be good. Hopefully.
What is Starfield?
Starfield is the first game from Bethesda in a long time.
First new IP.
Yeah, the first new IP in a long time.
Long time. They needed this one. It's in space. It's in space.
It's an Xbox exclusive, but PlayStation,
happy about
guys,
this.
you could buy an Xbox if you want to play. Just like how if you want to play Wolverine and want to play Spider-Man, we have to buy a PS5. So you know what I mean.
So what's better? What's better, Xbox?
There's nothing better. It's
you about to start
if you are a gamer, and I want to hear this. I don't care what is your preferences, how you like controllers, how you like anything. If you're a gamer, you can get everything and own everything you want. I'm not missing anything because I got some kind of hate toward. I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
I want to play everything I get. There's nothing better.
What
I can tell you is what I'm having more fun on. It's just gaming. Period.
Yeah. I know he don't want to say it. He knows
so if you had five,
if I want to say it, if you want to say it, when it actually comes to experiences to gaming, the full experience, I'm having much more fun on PS5.
Bullshit.
And I'm going to say the honesty. We can have the video game war all day. If you want to go by the numbers, it's going to say the same numbers. Numbers don't lie, right?
I don't care about the numbers. I care about the game.
But when it comes to a service, and if everyone wants to create this whole segregation, because I've been left this Microsoft has a great service. You can go ahead and get Game Pass. You can go ahead and get all these amazing games. The benefit that Microsoft have is the thing that you can put on your phone. Game Pass on your phone is such a fucking killer app. Because I always wanted a handheld, but Nintendo always like charging you for a ridiculous amount of money and they never like discount stuff.
But the regular Wii,
love Nintendo.
The
Wii was dope.
That's one of the greatest consoles I've ever owned in my life.
But when it comes to new handheld situations where you can game anywhere you want, I give my hands up to Xbox. Like they have it, they got it on lock. Because I'm at work.
Shout out to the
so Xbox is better.
If you at your kids' parents' conference, whatever, game. You can pull it up on your phone. You can pull it up on your tablet. You can literally pull up anything that has an app.
So you're saying it's better?
It's
The
no, it's a
overall.
great service.
The overall.
It's a great service. There's no such thing as better between this gaming thing unless you're 5 years old and under. But
I just want to know what's your.
right now gaming has been putting
I
out
just
great
want to say
services
what's
from
your
all
thought
sides.
on Phil Spencer though. That's what
Phil
I want to
Spencer
know.
has been doing a pretty good job.
There you
Who's
go.
Phil Spencer? Let's dial back.
Phil
Who's
Spencer is the
CEO
CEO,
of Microsoft Gaming.
head of the game division.
So he's the CEO. This is his new title that he just get after the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which is the
Shout
biggest.
out to Activision.
Look, but hear this.
Let's fire Bobby
Hear this
Kotick,
way,
please.
1 second. It's the biggest acquisition not only in gaming but in any digital entertainment space ever.
Oh, wow.
There is no other acquisition that even rivals that. It was for $68.7 billion. Wow.
Say that again.
Yes, it was
$68.7
$68.7
billion.
Oh my
for the
God.
acquisition.
68.7,
They
very
didn't
huge.
just acquire one studio,
wonder how many mango
2
seeds
studios.
would
They
buy with that.
acquired the whole publishing arm. You see?
And because
That's crazy.
reason why it's a lot of money is because this publisher
Yeah, it
owns
has
the
a
number one
bunch.
popular game in the world,
Yeah,
which is Call of Duty.
Call of
Yeah,
Duty
yeah.
is there, but the
Wait,
thing
that's
is
number
that,
one?
Number one in the world.
I mean, just for
console
sales,
wise,
in
for
just in terms
consoles.
of sales, it sells the most. Yeah.
World of Warcraft is actually number one game, and that is still
Yeah.
under that same umbrella. So Microsoft did make a very good.
But basically, I just want to say shout out to Phil Spencer, and from people that rock the green and the black, the Xbox people,
Hey.
we just want to tell you, from the bottom of our hearts that you turned the ship around. This
Boys
ship
don't
was
need
sink-
games.
This ship was
Phil.
sinking,
No,
and
no, no.
you came
You-
at the
you-
helm and
you
you
didn't
take
turn
it
the
in the
ship.
right direction.
You
So
Shout out
big up-
Microsoft.
I would like to say you lifted the ship, but the ship still needs its sails. We still need them exclusives. Those are your sales.
We've been in
Shots
the water.
fired.
We've been in the water.
But you right now you're floating beautiful in water. Your ship looks awesome.
Yes, exactly.
But we still need this ship to move. We don't want to hit an iceberg again.
Ooh.
But
We did hit the ice bucky, right?
so Sony and Nintendo, everyone hit an iceberg before. But come on, Microsoft, you got the money. You got about
They
$100
doing
billion
it
easy.
now.
They're already
Yeah.
doing it,
Doing
so I
it
don't know
now,
what
so
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
And
Yeah,
no, they're
35
not doing it now
studios.
because we still have not got that Xbox killer exclusive yet.
yeah, but it's coming. You don't
That
already know
is
most
what
of these
is-
acquisitions
that is
took
what-
place a year or
but
two
that
ago.
is what gives the fans that proper bragging
Yeah,
rights
but-
for the system.
But hear me out. The acquisitions, Xbox start acquiring more studios. Yeah, hear me out.
Yeah.
Xbox start acquiring more studios in 2019. Everybody knows it takes about 4 to 5 years to make a decent game, right? So if they get it in 2019, they obviously working on the games for it to start coming out. So take it like this. In 2018, Xbox had 3 studios. Now in 2022, Xbox have over 35 studios.
Nice.
You see what I'm
All right,
saying?
so third
So
party
they
studios,
just
and when
acquire it.
was
Yeah, that's a
Microsoft
huge
latest
difference.
newest IP?
They just acquire it, so now after they got acquired, they're now going to be working on these new IPs, working on Microsoft,
When
getting into the
Microsoft's been in the
ecosystem
game
and
since
doing it, you know what I mean?
2002, 2003.
Hey.
When was the latest new Microsoft
Yeah,
newest
so
IP?
it's exciting times.
Still
to be
has
an
not been
Xbox
answered. Thank you. So
It's exciting
Microsoft,
time to be a
please
gamer
step
in
up.
general.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So
I do like you, Microsoft,
he don't.
but
Hey.
you need to step up. I know you are stepping up, but you really need to step
my
up.
bum buckle,
Suggestion
like,
for Microsoft: let people buy your stuff.
Yeah,
with Shiba Inu.
get a Microsoft
one
anyway.
right
Hey, that's the
Phil.
next move.
Bring the
Phil,
crypto.
Phil Spencer, this message is for you. This message is for Phil Spencer. You hear us talking to you, man.
Send us some
Let
shit.
us buy some shit with the Shiba.
with the Shiba.
the
Right.
Oh,
The
if
shit.
they be the first ones,
Oh God, it's done.
it's gonna be
You know
something
what's the
nasty.
craziest thing
That's
that you say
coming.
about that? Shib and Saitoshi, they say
Yes.
that they was working with a AAA gaming studio to
PlayStation.
make a game for Shiba Inu, right?
What?
That company was part of Activision Blizzard. Yeah? So now that Xbox acquired Activision Blizzard, they're now Shib, the cryptocurrency, is now working with Xbox now.
But then
That-
again,
and that's what I was-
regardless
that's what
if
I
they
was
do
saying.
that, it will still
Yeah.
have to be a good game.
But that's why I was saying that they should start accepting the crypto because
They will. They
Yeah.
will. Because the game is in development right now for the ship. You know what I mean? So it's going to be.
That would be
Does.
so dope.
Yeah, it's going
So
to
like
be.
saying, I'm just saying.
give them credit, Rob. They
I
trying.
always give them
They
credit,
trying,
but
brother.
Rob don't
I
give
still
nobody.
got,
don't
I
give
still got
love,
that poison in my blood when Microsoft took my account away and won't
That's
give
the
back
only
to me
reason.
because-
The truth come
The
out. He got his
Oh, no,
feelings
no,
hurt.
no, 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 no,
The
no,
truth
no,
come
no,
out.
no, no. I never had hate for it. I hate this whole gaming back and forth conversation.
Yeah, that
It's
I don't
shit's
like
fucking
that
dumb.
shit either.
stupid.
It's kind of dumb.
That shit
yeah.
But-
dumb as hell.
I'm just hating with Microsoft because when they suspended my shit for a month for no reason because I moved to a new state and then they didn't know if it was really me, which didn't make sense. And if I give you all the information, yet you don't give me my shit back. All right, but yeah, anyway.
What I need PlayStation and Microsoft to do, stop bullshitting and let us play with each other.
Yes, thank you.
Because
thank you,
lot
cross-platform.
The only reason I don't have a PlayStation 5 is because it cramps my hands, the remote with the analog sticks at the bottom.
Cross-platform.
That's it.
Cross-platform.
Yeah.
You know,
they do need the
please.
cross-platform.
They already had to for some games, but cross-platform.
Shout out
please.
to Activision for that.
Yeah, it's a huge acquisition. You know, but I think the one thing of all this conversation that's really the over thing that you should take is that, you know, gaming is not what it used to be. Gaming is actually a mental health resolution. You know, so many people, so many grown-ups, kids, even elders play games, and it helps them with their mental health, you know. Thank y'all so much for breaking it down. You know, we're going to continue to dive in to this gaming industry. You know, we're talking about streaming, talking about the new games that are coming out, and, you know, even how you can make wealth off of games that you play.
We need to dive into these chicks that get mad at their partners for gaming. Like, get a hobby with them.
Right?
Yeah, go get a hobby, please.
These chicks be
that's a whole nother episode
That's
right
a
there.
whole nother episode.
right?
Please. I think about in a relationship if she tries to break my shit. I'm not bullshitting. She touched my PS5. You are.
Hey, that's
Going to jail.
Yeah, I might catch a body that night. I don't know. But yeah, don't
that
touch
is
it.
a whole nother. We're gonna have to talk about that. But let's go ahead and end with the jewel of the day, right? So today's jewel of the day is strive to be authentic. Be original, imitated, never duplicated. The definition of authentic is of disputed origin, genuine. When you're authentic, you are one of a kind. When you're authentic, you have the ability to duplicate your craft, your skill, your art to the infinite power. Because you aren't putting on an act or trying to be someone or something that you aren't naturally. You're just being yourself. You're authentic. And anyone who can't accept you for being who you are, throw them the deuces. In the words of Lil Wayne, never apologize for what you feel. It's like saying sorry for being real. Until next time, we are the Hot Mango Seed Podcast.
Hot Mango Seed.
Hot Mango Seed.
We'll see you on the flip side. Right?
That was good.
Lil Wayne.
Hot mango seed, hot mango seed. Yeah.